you are surely going to step on very powerful toes.
Obviously.
You are going to step on the toes of cobras, and I've been beaten quite sometimes. It's not been easy, but I thank God He has not removed that courage from me. I think it's something that is innate in me. So it's not a tea party. It's not been a tea party at all.
Well, it comes with the job, I must say.
Yeah, it comes with the job.
So,
sure.
What are the circumstances that led to your detention? You say you've been beaten. What really led to that particular incident?
I've been detained not once, not twice. I've been in prison 3 times. I've been detained in some of the worst police facilities anywhere in Nigeria, in Kaduna. They call it state FIB. Almost on weekly basis, somebody has to be brought out from that cell. Death. It's not a place you wish to, put your enemy there. I was detained in that kind of facilities. I have been brought before 5 judges, and I'm still having cases. It's all about exposing what I believe is the untamed evil of the governance of Malam Nasir el-Rufai when he was the governor of Kaduna State. I, went off my way to make very incisive investigative reportage on the, massacre that was going on, the pogrom, as we call it, that was going on in Southern Kaduna, where I happen to come from. So naturally, I should show interest in what's happening to my own people. So I was arrested over a story on the alleged murder of some student of College of Education in 2016. I was jailed for almost 100 days without bail. And then in 2021 again, as I left mainstream reportage to be a stringer for some international journals, I became the spokesman of the Southern Kaduna People's Union, where I even got more freedom to speak on the evil of the governance of el-Rufai and the rampaging tragedy that the Fulani herdsmen were carrying out, in Southern Kaduna. So, and of course, we had a fellow called Samuel Arwan, who was the Commissioner of Internal Affairs. Okay. Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs. He was a lackey of the governor. He will always come out to say that what was happening in Southern Kaduna was a clash. This annoying term coined by the Nigerian government, which the media has helped them to trumpet as Fulani farmers or as herders farmers clash. There's nothing like that. From my own experience as a field reporter in Southern Kaduna, it was clear. It was a clear invasion of sleeping communities and their mass murder in their own homes. There was no clash on the fields. If you clash with people, if you clash with somebody, if it's supposed to be a farmers herders clash, then they should be clashing on the field or on the grazing fields. But no, these are invasions of communities, sleeping communities, with women and children as the main targets. What have women got to do with issues pertaining to disputes, if it were between farmers and herders? So it was a clear invasion and mass massacre. Wow. But people like Samuel Aran would always put it as herders farmers clash, in which I asked the governor, our own senator at that time, Senator Najumala, whether he thought it was a herders farmers clash, because at that time there was a community, Bamai in Kaura local government, where 38 people were massacred nobody was held responsible for that. So when Samuel Aran came with his own version to say that it was Sada's farmers clash, I interviewed the senator who said that no, that he was just trying to decorate it, that it was actually genocide. So that was what led to my arrest and detention for another 100 days.
Mr. Binniyat,
yeah.
It seems like the ordeal, what got you into trouble is trying to speak, be a mouthpiece for your people against what is happening to the Southern Kaduna people. If you happen to see Nasir el-Rufai one-on-one, what will you tell him face to face if you had to see him?
Okay, let me start by, shall I say, adjusting the first phrase of this question, whether I set out to be a mouthpiece of the people of Southern Kaduna. No, I didn't set out to be a mouthpiece of the people of Southern Kaduna. I set out to report evil, wickedness, as it was happening. Not that I wanted to become a champion of Southern Kaduna. No, my job, my conscience entails me that I should deeper than what government was giving us, which I did even when I was a reporter in FCT, as a reporter with the then Post Express. I went out of my way to report how the Baggy natives, the owners of the FCT, were shortchanged in policies of government, and how they were left in, situation of destitution. Well, people who came from other parts of Nigeria were making big money from the sales of their lands and all that. How I reported all those kinds. So, like I told you earlier, I've always, tend to put my searchlight on where there was injustice. So and then I was transferred to Kaduna State and happened to come from Southern Kaduna. So it was just by coincidence. So I didn't set out to be that kind of a mouthpiece for our people. Now, to whether if I see, I think if el-Rufai will come face to face with me, I will raise my hand, I will raise my thumbs up for him, because it means that he is going to be a very courageous person. Because there was a clip that was making the rounds in those days, I think it was in 2020, where he was talking about me and he was fuming from his mouth, saying that if he was a judge, he would have jailed me and thrown away the key. He didn't know why they were delaying me. His hatred for me was so palpable that it's like he was going to swoon. So if I'm to come face to face with him, I think he's going to faint in the first place. But it will give me an opportunity to tell him to his face that he is what I consider the devil in human flesh. el-Rufai represents, in my own view, the ambassador of the darkest forces that was ever unleashed, on citizens, wherever he was in position of leadership. It will be my pleasure to tell him that, and I'm somehow vindicated, because he has been made more like a wanderer now. It's more like a political fugitive, going from post to pillar to post, trying to forge alliances that will never materialize. So if I come face to face with el-Rufai, I will tell him my mind and I'll ask him what he thinks of me, assuming he has the courage to sit down and face me, which I doubt if he does.
All right, well said. You are the public relation officer of the Middle Belt Forum.
Yeah.
What is the Middle Belt Forum?
Well, maybe you should have asked me what is the Middle Belt first.
Okay.
Yes, let's start.
Is the Middle Belt?
Yes. The Middle Belt has a very short definition now, because all kinds of definition has been given to it, but we have come up with a final definition. It's simply put as this. The Middle Belt is made up of all the ethnic nationalities in northern Nigeria, the Northern Protectorate that was amalgamated by Lord Lugard in 1900. So the Middle Belt Forum, and the Middle Belt is made up of all the ethnic nationalities that were not part of the Ottoman Empire, Osman Danfodio Empire, and then the Kanem Borno Empire. Before colonialism, all the ethnic groups that were never under their rule, before colonialism, form part of the Middle Belt in northern Nigeria. That's a simple definition.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I really want to know.
So now you read what is the Middle Belt Forum?
Yes.
Yes, the Middle Belt Forum.
And equally what they stand for.
Okay.
So that we get a proper view.
Yes, the Middle Belt Forum is, like it has been said, an association of the ethnic nationalities within the Middle Belt area who have come together to forge an alliance that will further their economic and political interests and also promote their culture. So it is a socio-cultural political forum mainly created to advance the progress and well-being of the Middle Belt area.
All right, this is still Ndeya Radio, and we are one-on-one with Luka Binniyat. To join us on this conversation, let me read out the WhatsApp numbers and the phone-in number so that you can be part of this conversation. And the WhatsApp number is 080-7122-9873. 080-7122-9873. That is the WhatsApp number. So drop your message there and we'll treat them. And the calling number is 070-1333-7020. 070-1333-7020. So those are the numbers you can reach us with so that we can entertain some of your questions. Mr. Lucas, you see, you spoke about the crisis in Kaduna, the situations and what led to the crisis, how it has been coined as a farmer herders crisis. Now, I would like you to give me an assessment of the security situation in Kaduna before, now, and the way forward.
Okay, when you say before, I'm sure you are talking of
during the dark days of the el-Rufai.
Yes, the el-Rufai time. But let me say, it didn't. The violence didn't actually start with el-Rufai. The violence is an offshoot of the 2011 post-presidential election, in which General Muhammadu Buhari of the CPC was defeated by sitting President Jonathan Ebele Goodluck, and his supporters became very livid. Supporters of Muhammadu Buhari became very angry, and they initiated very violent riots in northern part of Kaduna town, which snowballed into a very big, interstate violence in northern Nigeria. And in southern Kaduna, they started the violence there, and then the indigenes also reacted violently too. So as a result of that, there was massive loss of lives on both sides. Shortly after President Goodluck was sworn into office, on our own side, we were lucky that Goodluck settled on the then Governor of Kaduna State, Architect Namadi Sambo, to be his vice president, because there was a vacuum. And the Patrick Yakuwa, who was Sambo's deputy governor, now fill in the vacant position at Kaduna Government House to become governor of Kaduna State. Now, there was a plan by the aggrieved Fulanis and the outside communities who had been displaced as a result of the reaction of the natives of Southern Kaduna to the violence which they instigated, and they now came back and started attacking communities in 2012. One of the first communities they attacked in 2012 was a village in Jaba local government, where they killed 4 people and burnt houses. And then they started this attack. They initiated the attacks again in some part of Zango Katab local government and other. But Yakowa was able to quell it. And the federal government instituted what they call the Lemu panel, which carried out, a very detailed investigation on what led to the 2011 riot. And it was pointed out that it was the utterances of Muhammadu Buhari to his own supporters, which they misinterpreted, according to the report, to mean that they should carry out violent protests against the outcome of the result. So that was what initiated the violence. But when
are you referring to when you say the babu and
the babu and the monkey? And interestingly, that was my story. I was the one that wrote that story for the Vanguard. Yes, I think that was the story that, which was a true story anyway, because he actually said it when some of his supporters came from Niger State to pay him a courtesy visit in Kaduna in his office. So as a reporter then, I saw that as the most interesting angle of the story, and I wrote it, interpreted it from us. So after Yakowa was killed in a plane crash shortly, in 2014, Ramalan Yero became governor, and then the attack started all over again. And one of the worst massacres till date of Southern Kaduna people took place under his watch in a village called Bondong in Kaura local government, where 240 people were massacred in one night. 240 were massacred in one night. So that caused a global outrage. The Nigerian media was awash with it, and so you could see, you couldn't call that kind of thing a clash. It was an invasion. It was a pogrom. It was mass murder.
And nothing was done.
And nothing till date. Nobody was arrested. Nobody had been arrested. So when el-Rufai came in 2015, having secured an incredible vote and acceptance by even the people of Southern Kaduna, who for the first time gave an opposition party about 40% of their votes. So el-Rufai was overwhelmingly voted in Kaduna. And in fact, his votes were almost 3 times that of the incumbent Ramalan Yero. That was the kind of hope that our people saw in him. But unfortunately, as soon as he became governor, he changed color. All his promises, all his campaign rhetorics about bringing justice to anybody who killed a citizen of Kaduna State, about uniting the state, about stamping violence, about debt recovery, about economy rejuvenation, and all that. It turned out that he was actually out to even wreak more havoc on the people of Southern Kaduna.